The leaves turn gold, the weather turned cold, and the story began to unfold. It's 1976, a season still alive. The legends and the memories that time could never hide. From the kickoff in September to the champions at the end, we turn the pages back again and live those days once more, my friend.
Welcome back to Pigskin Glory, where we relive the history of football exactly 50 years later. Today is Saturday, July 17th, 1976, and training camps continue to dominate the headlines with roster moves, optimism, and a look at where the game itself was headed. We'll start with today's NFL transactions. Training camp meant more difficult decisions around the league. The Seattle Seahawks continued trimming their inaugural roster, releasing 7 players. The Kansas City Chiefs added linebacker Jimbo Elrod, while the St. Louis Cardinals made several roster cuts. The New York Jets announced linebacker Atkinson had retired and waived wide receiver Eddie Bell, while the New Orleans Saints waived quarterback Joe Gilliam. And in Pittsburgh, the Steelers barred defensive lineman Tom Keating from training camp. Every day in July brought more reminder that making an NFL roster was never guaranteed. Our second story takes us to New York. Well, New Jersey. The Giants announced they were halting season ticket sales for their first season at brand new Giants Stadium. Demand had been so overwhelming that the organization received more ticket requests than it could possibly fill. Of the stadium's 76,500 seats, roughly 71,500 would be reserved for season ticket holders, leaving only about 5,000 seats available on a game-by-game basis. It was clear Giants fans were ready for a new era in East Rutherford. Think about it. They haven't made the playoffs in 13 years. Spider Lockhart just retired. And the fans are buying in on the Giants in 1976. Next, we head to San Francisco, where Jim Plunkett was settling into life with the 49ers after his trade from New England. The former Heisman Trophy winner admitted there would be pressure playing back home in California, but believed a fresh start and a stronger running game under new head coach Monty Clark would help relive his career. Plunkett also weighed in on the O.J. Simpson's trade situation, saying he understood why Simpson wanted to play closer to his family on the West Coast. Our fourth post took us to focused on 2 members of the New York Jets, one quarterback and whose future suddenly looked uncertain. Veteran linebacker Al Atkinson officially retired after 8 seasons as a starter, leaving only 3 members of the New York Jets Super Bowl III championship team still with the organization, Joe Namath being one of them. The Jets also waived wide receiver Eddie Bell. Meanwhile, Joe Gilliam's brief stay in New Orleans came to an end as the Saints released the former Steelers quarterback Jefferson Street Joe. Gilliam admitted he didn't know if another NFL team would give him another opportunity, but he remained hopeful he could continue his football career. Joe Gilliam's is a sad case of how drugs can affect a bright future. Finally today, a fascinating look at the game itself. A statistical study argued that by 1976, the NFL had nearly perfected its brand of football. Rule changes over the previous several seasons had increased scoring and offensive production without sacrificing competitive balance. Teams were moving the ball more effectively, yet many of the league's best clubs still relied on strong running games and dominant defenses. The conclusion? Football might never be perfect, but many believe the NFL had found the ideal balance between offense and defense, and we've spent the last 50 years trying to mess that up. And that's a look back at July 17th, 1976. If you're enjoying our journey through football history, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us continue bringing you the stories that built the game we love. We'll see you tomorrow for another day in football history.